And we have reached the final regular season weekend of the 2022 National Volleyball Association season. As today we are back to divisional play as teams get set to see who will be in the postseason in less than a month. Good morning, and we welcome you into the Pierce Sports Center here in San Bernardino, California. Ira Thor, Nick England, Matt Prosser, Noah Chass, as we bring you 5 matches today on our first day of our final weekend. 3 days to decide who will play in the postseason. And we start off at 9 a.m. today with the Texas Tyrants. They are 7-1 on the year against the Chicago Untouchables.
NVA event number 5. My name is Matt Prosser here, San Bernardino, California, getting ready for the Tyrants taking on the Chicago Untouchables.
It's crazy to say this, guys.
You want me to do the other mic as well?
Untouchables are still alive at 1-7. Not much they got to do this weekend. All they got to do is win, well, both matches they play this weekend and maybe get a little help with the points. If they can beat the 7-1 Tyrants today,
How Now Brown Cow,
unique
New York.
Though. So,
all right,
well,
thanks.
We'll start off with this one. The Tyrants, they are missing some pieces, and that makes the storyline all the more probable.
Yeah, we know Jake Langlois will not be here this event. Alternatively, Gianluca Grosso, we saw him suffer a quad injury during event number 4. He did travel to the event, but at 7-1, he doesn't really need to play here. So great opportunity if they want to see Robinson and Afaji on the outside. Both did a great job in event number 4. So don't really have to push the envelope here. So if you're the Chicago Untouchables on the other side of the net, you might be breathing a little sigh of relief that you're going to come in and maybe we've seen Tyrants already start slow kind of in the past. 9 a.m. match, maybe this is the chance that that team, you know, they played the Ramblers hard last event. The only thing that really is going, well, there's a lot of things working against Chicago, but I'm pretty optimistic for the personnel on the court. They're a little undersized in the middle. That is the one thing I think that's going to really hurt them here. Jake Ostemo was hoped to be here this weekend, was not able to make that. So they're a little bit thinner than they would like. But, you know, that'll be interesting to see the matchup, having Lovett and Mountie involved. So that's definitely where I'm keeping my eye. Will Ragland, though, I've said it once, I'll say it again, and as long as that guy is in the league, he will throw haymakers and drag any team he's on every bit of his body to get them to that next round. So, you know, maybe a 3-7 Hail Mary on the horizon. But if Chicago loses to start the day, their weekend's over, and they've got to hang around till the last match of the weekend, and it's all for naught.
Yeah, well, hey, you're saying there's a chance, and there is a chance here, and that is why we are playing some meaningful matches. Only one team has been eliminated at 12 in the league as we start our 5th event of the season. Talking about playoff implications, oh my God, the Utah Stingers and the Dallas Tornadoes, the American Central Division is completely up in the air. Coming in today, you got Utah at 4-4, Dallas is 3-5, but going in the wrong direction. The Colorado Kraken are 2-6. They are still alive, but they have lost 4 in a row. They will sit today out, and they will watch these two behemoths take it on at 12 p.m. Holmes is back for Utah. Felix Chapman, does he have enough in the arm to carry Dallas a little closer to the postseason today, Matt?
Well, this is going to be an extremely entertaining match. These two teams have a lot on the line, right, to make that final push to the playoffs. For the Tornadoes, you know, having Roshitz back along with Connell, obviously we all know Felix Chapman can carry a big offensive load for their team. However, the Stingers are so experienced, so much veteranship and leadership with Enovo Romero, you know, Russell Holmes, and obviously Reed Chilton, the center. It's going to be a very entertaining match. I expect both of these teams to go hard after this win today because of how important this match will be.
Dallas wins that matchup. They would actually then tie Utah atop of the standings, and that's going to make the final matches of the season for both teams even more meaningful. Meanwhile, they still both have to deal with a Colorado Kraken squad that, despite being 2-6 as an expansion team, well, they're sitting around watching, knowing that they control their own destiny if they can come out and play strong when they see the court on Saturday. Our 3 p.m. matchup on paper is our match of the day, but quite frankly, it's the only one that has 0 playoff implications. The New Jersey Freedom, they are 8-0. They are trying to be the first unbeaten team in the history of the regular season in the NVA. If they get by the 6-2 OC Stunners today, the defending champions, well, that road to 10-0 seems all more plausible because the final match of the weekend for the Freedom will be the Seattle Sasquatch, who are coming in as the only team that has already been eliminated. So, Noah, this is an entertaining one. Again, on paper, the one we certainly circled, but
right.
It's for bragging rights.
And, well, there is a slight playoff implication twist, because if things don't go their way, there is a chance the Tyrants could jump them through the 1 seed in that conference. Is it likely? No. So there is still something to play for there statistically. But like you said, it's mostly bragging rights, a rematch of the Stunners and the Freedom, 2 powerhouse teams with about 95% of the rosters, missing Joey Jarvis for the Stunners, Matt Seifert for the Freedom, but otherwise, they pretty much has everyone. And I've said about the Stunners for a while, they're a team that knows they're good and they play like it. The Freedom has always been confident, but now as this, the longest undefeated team in NBA history, they're a team that also knows they're good. Yeah. And so it's kind of very 2 confident and strong teams going head to head, and it'd be interesting to see kind of who really pulls it out and who. Again, not a lot of playoff implications, kind of who wants it more to kind of look down at their divisional rival and say, we know we're the top guys. So it's going to be a good one.
I love the optimism in the youth here on the broadcast, thinking that the Stunners still have a chance to pass New Jersey in the standings. That is, barring the biggest miracle in NBA history, not going to happen. However, that's why you play the games. And we have one more match to end the day. And who knew the playoff implications that this would have just a week or an event ago? The Matadors were 1 in whatever on this season. They were 1-5, and they were looking out of everything. And then, you know what? They turned things around. They win both matches they played during an NVA event number 4 on Father's Day weekend in June. And just like that, the Matadors right now will take on the Las Vegas Ramblers today. And even if they lose that match, they're still very much alive. But they are, looking at the standings in the American Coastal, they're tied right there with Southern Exposure. One of those teams, maybe both of those teams, can still make the playoffs. So a lot of interest is in this match. Ramblers, Matadors. Matt, you're Mr. Worldwide. You see teams around the world. What do you see in this one?
Well, this is going to be another entertaining match, right? A great cap to a spectacular day of volleyball, right? The Ramblers, we all know how many weapons they have. Brandon Rattray, and everybody else on their team playing a solid brand of volleyball, especially as you get closer to the playoffs. For the Matadors, Eric Beatty has really helped that team find themselves. The team chemistry has improved. They've started to find their stride. They're playing a really solid style of volleyball here late in the season, which makes them very dangerous, right? I expect to see a really hard-fought match. I think the Ramblers are going to take that one, but at least for the Matadors, they're in charge of their own destiny, right? So it should make for some very entertaining volleyball tonight.
Totally agree.
And I like how you mentioned Eric Beatty. Every team, to be able to reach this point in the season, really does need that it guy, that guy who's going to carry them in crunch spots. Matadors really didn't have that in the past, and that's no disrespect to players who were on the team in 2021. But Beatty has stepped up this year, his first year with the club, and has taken that baton, and certainly is why they are now tied with the Southern Exposure at 3-5. The Ramblers at first place in the American Coastal at 7-1. So sitting out today, the teams with byes today, Seattle Sasquatch in the National Coastal, Southern Exposure 3-5, very much alive in the American Coastal. In the National Central, the LA Blaze, they're going in the wrong direction at the wrong time. They're 3-5, still in the playoff picture, but they got some work to do. And the American Central, the Kraken today, will be the team with the bye. So that will now take us to the predictions part of the program, and I'm on the struggle bus of late. I'm still tied for first place with Mr. England over here, 27-9 on the year, 750 winning percentage. Mr. Worldwide, Matt Prosser, has caught up. He is catching ground on us and has a chance with some good picks this week and maybe even the passes. He's 24-12 now, only 3 games behind. I think you were 6 back. Talking about the ground you made up, you're 667. And since Noah's only picked for the last event, we have to go by winning percentage, and that's not helping him either.
No.
He's at 583, 7-5.
Still a lot could change the good event,
the year,
so
but hey,
don't sleep on me yet.
Don't sleep on Noah yet. We start with our first match of the day, Tyrants, Untouchables. That comes down to me to start us off. And while I truly believe Chicago is going to push the Tyrants to the edge today, and this will go 5, The Tyrants, I still think, have too many weapons. Unfortunately for the Untouchables, they don't win this one, they're out, and I do pick Texas to win.
Yeah, you said it all. I'm going Tyrants. My heart wants Chicago, but anyone that's been watching the preseason show all year long knows they got me one too many times. I've got to take the Tyrants.
Man, that's a dangerous smile. Where are you going
Well,
here?
you know, there's not much more dangerous than a team knowing that they have to win to advance. So I'm taking the Untouchables today.
Wow, I love it, man. I'm not going to join you there, but I love the pick. I think we've seen what the Untouchables are. They're very, very good, but just not good enough with the current way the roster's constructed or just the way they're playing. So I don't think they have enough to beat the Tyrants. I'm taking Texas.
So if the Untouchables win that match, not only do they save their season for now, well, gets Matt a little closer to the promised land.
Pitter patter.
All right, this one's going to be a little tougher. 12 o'clock matchup, Utah Stingers, Dallas Tornadoes. Honestly, the guys, this can go anyway. Nick, you have the honor of starting us off.
I don't know. You could analyze your way through this all day long.
Someone have a coin you can flip and just
Yeah, I'm over here like playing rock, paper, scissors against myself, but Dallas Tornadoes. I'm going Dallas Tornadoes.
I'm going to take the veterans for the Stingers and get that win too.
I'm going to agree with you, Matt. Actually, I think the veteranship of Russ Holmes might push them in a really tight, really hard-fought match. I'm going to take the Stingers.
Oh boy, what do I do here? I don't like the way the Tornadoes are going right now. I don't like the way the Stingers are going right now, quite frankly, but I think the difference of having Russ back in the lineup for Utah ultimately will make the difference. Every time I take Utah, they lose. So if you're a Stinger fan, I'm sorry, but I'm going to take the Stingers here to be victorious in our second match of the day.
Tornado pick.
Dropping the Chapman train right
Yeah,
now.
I'm not happy with what I've seen out of Dallas lately, and I got to pick with my head this time instead of my heart.
See, I'm coming off of playing against Chicago Untouchables and Dallas Tornadoes last event, so I'm like, I know right where they're at.
Well, this next one is going to probably make some different picks, as we have the Stunners and the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom, the defending champions against a team that wants to be champions. We start with the coach of the OC Stunners. You're taking New Jersey, right?
Absolutely not, Ira. I'm taking my guys on this one. Stunners all the way.
I'm sorry to do this to you, but I think it's going to be the Freedom. I love the idea of maybe, a redemption win for the Stunners after that first one of the season, but I really think the Freedom are trying to put their foot down as the top team in this league, and I think they're going to bring everything they have tomorrow. Take Freedom.
Can you skip me? Skip me here? I got to make up my mind on this one. Nick and I talked on.
Come on, we all know you're a Jersey homer.
Yeah, come on.
I am. You'll see some during the All-Star game tomorrow, but I am going to pick against New Jersey for the first time this year. I'm going to take the Stunners. I think the absence in the middle of the biggest, in my opinion, the biggest middle in the league that's it here. I think Nick West and the company are going to take advantage of that mismatch for New Jersey, and it's going to be the Stunners victorious today. New Jersey's unbeaten streak ends at 8-0.
I think you've just been banned from New Jersey. You're not allowed back in.
There's ways to get in, trains. I could go. There's lots of bridges. I could take a boat in. I'll find a way back in, everybody.
Hey, plain and simple, I look across the board, and I think that Freedom have showed us a lot of impressive stuff, but I think OC Stunners have been slept on all season long. Matt Hilling, Corey Shavers, Jair Santiago, Nick West, Shane Beamer. You just listed 5 guys that are arguably the best in their position in the league. OC Stunners takes this.
If only Matt Seifert was here this weekend, my pick would have gone the other way, and I think that right there is the difference. The absence of Seifert.
If it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't change a thing if Seifert was here.
Well, I would have. So I'm being, one player can make all the difference,
and we
that
have
is
3 lone riders, or 3 picks so far.
Yep.
All right, interesting.
We got
Keeps
one
it
more.
spicy.
We got one more. We got the Ramblers and we got the Matadors playing very well right now. Does Noah take an upset here, or is he going with the tried and true and tested?
I think I'll stick with the tried, true, and tested. The Ramblers, similar to the Stunners and the Freedoms, just too many weapons, too deep. The Matadors are trending in the right direction, and a win would do a lot for them, but I don't see the Ramblers kind of letting one slip away from them, so I'll take Ramblers.
I really like the way the Matadors are playing right now. In fact, it's become an entertaining style of volleyball. They have people believing in them, and I think they're going to push the Ramblers a lot further in this match than anybody would have realized, but ultimately I think it will be Las Vegas pulling this one out. This might go 5 today, but I am going to take the Ramblers.
Yeah, I'm taking the Ramblers. The only notable piece that's really out of the roster today is going to be Jordan Hoppy. Just qualified for the main draw at AVP Wapaka, so shout out to him after qualifying for the main draw at AVP Denver. So doing it on the court and on the stand, so congrats to him. But John Carlson's ready to pick up that baton, playing with Brandon Rattray on the outside, so no hesitation, Las Vegas Ramblers.
Yeah, I'm not going to go against the flow here with you guys. I'm going to agree and take the Ramblers as well. Just too many weapons. And yes, the Matadors are playing better volleyball, but I just think, especially through the middle with Matt Kanigi in there as well, the Ramblers are just too strong today.
Wouldn't it be funny with all of us throwing our eggs in the Las Vegas basket that ultimately becomes the upset of the day? Should the Matadors listen?
If any team recently could do it, it's the Matadors. They're the team to pull.
And if any team could shoot themselves in the foot, I know firsthand, it's my guys.
And Nick will not be on the court today. He will be on the sideline for that matchup, so there will be no sleeve heroics in the Ramblers and the Matadors. So that wraps up our pregame show here on the first day of our final weekend of the 2022 regular season. Join us again at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 Eastern. Our first match today is the Tyrants against the Untouchables. Then at 12 noon Pacific, 3 Eastern, it is the Stingers and the Tornadoes in a meaningful matchup. The matchup of the day, at least on paper, the Stunners and the unbeaten New Jersey Freedom. That's at 3 o'clock, and then we wrap up the day. The Ramblers and the Matadors, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Come back for a great day of volleyball, will you?
And we are courtside here at the San Bernardino Pierce Sports Center. I'm Nick England. This is Matt Prosser. We are having match number 1 about ready to get underway. That's going to be the Chicago Untouchables, Texas Tyrants. Matt, prior to this, we had the the pregame show. Talk about it a little bit. But we're getting a couple more unfoldings with some injuries going on.
More pieces to the puzzle, Nick. Fill us in here on what we got happening.
All right, so we heard that Austin Lovett, the second middle for the Texas Tyrants, opposite of Ryan Mounty, got injured with an ankle injury yesterday during their pregame kind of court time. And in fact, as a local to San Bernardino, has left for the event. So he is not available. The injury is bad enough that it's not a tough it out like we saw from Mounty in event number 4. He is done. So that means once again, without Jake Langlois, Tyrants will be doing a little bit of roster management here. But they've been able to handle it so far.
Well, everybody at this point of the season has had to deal with some sort of injury, one type or another. So this isn't really a big surprise for them. Obviously we wish Austin the best and a speedy recovery because he's an all-star and we want him to be involved, in the match. So, for the Tyrants, they're just going to have to get creative and put some players in places that might not be their normal starting positions, but they're still going to try to get the win.
Yeah, a lot of great points. And now we're going to take it over to the sideline with Noah Chass. Noah, take it away.
Well, thank you, guys. I'm here with the Untouchables head coach. And you're still alive. There's still a chance for playoffs, but it really has to happen today. What has been your message to your team going into this match?
The main message is be hungry. I mean, we know everyone's good. And it's all about, fighting through, having that grit, just being hungrier than another team. Don't let the ball drop. However messy it may be, we just got to keep it alive somehow.
The Tyrants are a bit underhanded today, missing some key players. What's the plan to kind of take advantage of that?
Their ball control is going to be excellent no matter what. We are trying to make sure that we serve receive well, just so we can utilize all of our players, stay in system as much as possible, kind of concentrate more on the middle and right side for ourselves.
We've obviously seen a lot of Will Ragland this season, one of the anchors on the pins for you. Who else needs to step up in order to give you guys a chance for the playoffs?
We definitely need Peter to step up on the right side. I think he's going to be taking a heavy workload today. Chris in the middle should be doing well. Hopefully he steps up a little bit and brings that extra energy that we need to kind of take us over the edge on offense.
And could be, the last event of the season. What are you hoping to see from your guys?
Regardless of win or lose, we have that fight, that desire to actually, push ourselves. Just like in Event 1 where we were severely outmatched by the Tyrants, their full squad, and we fought. And so it's kind of what I want to see, regardless of what the win or lose. We only could take it as a loss if we take it as a loss. If we take it as another game, it won't be a loss for us. So.
And if there's one thing we've seen from these Untouchables, it's that they are going to fight till the very end. Be interesting to see if they're able to finally pull out a win and give themselves a chance for the playoffs. Guys, I'll send it back to you.
Great to hear. They've had a tough season on paper when everyone's here healthy and ready to go. That's a squad that, it's easy to be optimistic about, but they've just had a turbulent season, and that's that it happens in every sport. You kind of mentioned on that right before with injuries, and that's kind of just how things go sometimes.
Yeah, the Untouchables have been right there in a lot of matches. They've gone 5. They've had some very competitive matches in nearly every match that they've played in. So, just because on paper, the Tyrants are supposed to be much better than the Untouchables. It doesn't mean that the Untouchables aren't capable of pulling off this upset, regardless of personnel that's on the court. So this is still going to be a very evenly fought match between these two teams. The Untouchables have this stigma or this characteristic where they just go as long as they can go until they get beaten. They don't really beat themselves. They just have gotten beaten, but it's been over time, throughout the length of the match.
Yeah, so. I definitely agree with that. And one of those to break down where they're at. So coming in at 1-7, it might seem dire straits, especially on the National Conference side. We see that in terms of the 4 bigs, the Tyrants, the Freedom, and the Stunners. You guys have all locked today. In terms of what order, that is still something that we can discuss, but there's a lot to be said for what's next between LA Blaze and Chicago Untouchables. But before we get into that, we're going to hear a little bit more from the Texas Tyrants player coach, Gianluca Grasso. Noah, take it away.
Thank you, Nick. And as you said, player coach Gianluca Grasso, and you've been battling your own injuries. How are you feeling, and are you playing today?
Yeah, these are two last really important matches for us. We need to be able to control it from the start, and we're a little short of players against this weekend, so we'll step up in there and try to get the job done.
Touch on what happened with Austin Lovett.
It was just a little accident at practice. He was jump serving, ended up falling wrong on his ankle and hurt it a little bit. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So, but thankfully he didn't break anything. It was just a very, very, very bad sprain. But he's been doing some rehab and he's been feeling better. So he's cheering for us from home today.
And what's your plan to overcome kind of that absence and the absence of Jake Langlois?
We have Anthony in the middle. He's a pretty crafty player, pretty good player all the way around. And then we have Isaiah on the outside that's been doing a great job last event too. So we're excited to see what we can do against the Chicago team.
And your team that's in the playoffs, your seed is almost all but determined. And this is a Chicago team that's fighting for their last breath.
Yeah.
How do you make sure your team is still motivated enough to pull out this win over a hungry Chicago team?
We just have to be very, very aggressive from the get-go and be very, very loud, communicative with each other, and make sure that they can't slip through the cracks.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Coach Grasso. Guys, heard that from the Tyrants.
Yeah, that's one of those things when you talk about the teams that are in that upper echelon. It's not just on the court that they perform so well, but it's also their understanding of the game. You see Anthony Robinson, someone that played as the 0-2 behind Grasso all last season, was phenomenal. Great defender, great blocker, great attacker, and now just steps into the middle. And that's where some of these guys have just played the game for so long.
Yeah.
It's just the next move.
Well, the
over.
volleyball IQ is high across the board for all these teams, and so when you have a situation like this for the Tyrants and a guy like Anthony Robinson that has to fill into maybe a non-traditional playing position, he's more than happy to do it. And just like Grasso said, he's very crafty. He can get the job done. Will it be perfectly technique and all the things there? No, it might not, but it's still going to be effective, and he's going to be able to help his team out by playing that role, as opposed to being on the bench or having somebody else step in.
Yeah, and also noticeably, Chicago, they've got a couple powerhouse middles that are not here this weekend between Kamil Garbowski, Jake Ostema, Mikkel Hoyt, Zebra. And so instead, we're seeing Chris Pazensky, who's done well this season.
Yeah.
But then also Votam Liu, who we saw, and I believe it was event number 2. And he did well, but again, undersized. So I think that those kind of small nuances on the Chicago side are definitely going to bode well here for Anthony Robinson stepping in. So I don't think it's as bad as it could be.
That's definitely,
that's definitely
fortuitous that, the Untouchables are a little thin in the middle as well. Undersized is a good way to say it. So that does help the Tyrants sort of in that situation with Robinson playing in the middle.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm really looking at here today is if the Untouchables are able to remain composed and serve receive, Jordan Robinson has been playing a lights out season wearing the off-colored libero jersey. And so if he's able to kind of keep this team anchored, I really do think Piotr Namiotko on the right side, he's going to get some damage done. He's going to get his swings. So there are plenty of pieces that this Chicago team, they served exceptionally well. I was the recipient of that last event. They were hitting good serves into good spots. So, there's plenty of opportunities.
Well, they're going to have to rely on their service pressure from the inline today for sure, and keep the serves away from the libero, Jose Malero, and also Gianluca Grasso, two of the better passers in the NBA, for everything all season long, and especially for today with the Untouchables, fighting for their playoff life, right?
Yes.
They've got to be good. They can't make a ton of errors. They can't be afraid of the block. They have to put the Tyrants in some sort of pressure from the inline to get them out of system, right, to even make it that much more difficult for them to side out as well and give the advantage over to the Untouchables on their block and defense.
Yeah, I had mentioned it earlier and didn't get a chance to wrap it up, and I was thinking about it. Chicago Untouchables, so they're 1-7. Basically, they're competing against LA Blaze. Seattle Sasquatch is not technically out, but given their schedule for this weekend, playing both Freedom and Stunners and how they've been playing so far, I'm not putting a lot of eggs in that basket for something to change drastically there. But when I look at, LA Blaze or Chicago, one of those teams is going to make it to the postseason.
Yeah.
And so what it requires is Blaze going 0-2 this weekend and Chicago going 2-0 with decisive wins. So unlikely, but given how Blaze has been playing recently and how Tyrants is staffed today, it's as good a chance as Chicago is going to get.
Right.
Now on the side of the LA Blaze, they've just got to pick up one win. One win from either of their 2 matches means they control their own destiny. They're automatically in, and it's, you know, conversation over. So it's going to be interesting to see how this one unfolds. Basically, I don't think any team, and I could be wrong here, but I don't think besides this match, any team really eliminates themselves today. Tomorrow is going to be a bloodbath in the standings. We're going to see teams, every match is going to have implications of teams' weekends or their seasons coming to an end. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But now as these teams take the court, we look at starting lineups. On the side of the Texas Tyrants, starting on the right side is going to be Tim Johnson. On the outside, that's going to be Daniel Jacobs getting the start on the outside. And the 1 spot, Gianluca Grasso with Isaiah Afaji in the 2. Ryan Mounty in the middle. Opposite of him is Anthony Robinson, as discussed. Of course, wearing the libero jersey is going to be Jose Mulero, one of the top passers in the league. And running the show as the setter, Gabo Quinones. On the side of the Chicago Untouchables, on the outside, we're going to see Will Ragland, as well as a newer addition to the squad last event. That's Tim Callahan, number 18. In the middle, Chris Pazinski, as well as Votam Liu. On the right side is Piotr Namiotko, Jordan Robinson taking libero jersey, and the setter will be number 20, Noah Rochetti. And we're underway. Good pass by Callahan means a middle early. Easy dig for Grasso. Jacobs controlled roll. Robinson to the D-ball swing for Piotr. Grasso takes his back row swing. That looked like a back row attack though. Goes out all the same. Either way, Texas Tyrants not able to string that one together. Chicago Untouchables on the board first. I saw the same thing you did there.
Yeah, I saw the over violation, but he hit it out of bounds, so 2 negatives don't make it right.
Yep.
Still an error and a point for the Untouchables there.
Float serve goes long though, and Chicago lets them off the hook easy there. Afaji with the jump serve. He hits that one long. Good morning, men's volleyball. Glad to see that you're awake. Missed serves. Got plenty of them going on right now.
It's part of the game, Nick.
Definitely
all part of the game.
And honestly, if Untouchables aren't serving tough, there's no point, because having Grasso and Mulero back there is like having 2 of the best liberos in the league in the serve receive. So, understandable. Piotr on the outside breaks the hands there of Quinones. Cannot come up with that one.
Well, what I like to see right there out of the Untouchables block and defense is the deflection on the block. It's not a stuff down block. It's a nice deflection, gives Noah Ricchetti a chance to dig the ball, and then Chicago able to transition that one on the counterattack for a real point.
In the league, seeing if he can get off to a start here. Just drops one over the top. He paid the toll this morning. Gets the bounce he's looking for. Not the typical ace you're used to seeing from Ragland, normally blowing someone up in the serve-receive line, but that time just ekes it over. Nice pass from Mulero. Quick set to the outside, and that's Gianluca Grasso at his very best. If you've been tracking him, a USC Trojan, that was the exact same kind of offense they ran him with there. And a quick shout-out officially announced, signed at Tel Aviv Maccabi over in Israel. Maccabi Tel Aviv, the 2-time back-to-back champions, where JT Hatch, Kyle Insing, and Josh Eisenberg have been playing their volleyball. So excited to see that future for him. Set to the outs to the right side, dug by Jordan Robinson. But that is going to end with a move from Callahan into our banners here.
A really nice swing down the line that time by Jacobs. In transition specifically, he's going to have a big match for the Tyrants. Take a little bit of that offensive pressure off of Grasso, especially on the right side.
Perfect pass from Ragland. When Votam gets involved, you know, I love to see that, even when there may not be as much established connection or court time experience on the NVA court. Ricchetti wastes no time getting Lou involved there, and even at an undersized middle, use him, let him swing. Good pass, and Ryan Mounty gets involved, but a nice block deflection, slowing that one down. a quick run, and he won't be stopped twice.
Good setting there from Quinones, going back-to-back to Mountie. Didn't get the first kill, but a free ball back to the Tyrants gives them that second chance opportunity to go quick once again.
Jacobs putting some pace. And a middle attack once again, but a nice block touch. And a dump attempt picked up and covered. Roll shot over the top. This has got to go to the outside. Mislocation, no one blocking. A missed transition opportunity from the Tyrants. Some sloppy plays this rally, and it ends in a similar fashion. Both teams need to clean that play up.
Yeah, not the prettiest rally we're going to see in this match by far, but really got to get a better hittable set in transition to both sides, especially on the left side attacker that time by the Untouchables.
Really impressed with both teams' blocking moves so far, doing a good job controlling the pace. We'll see how that unfolds as we get more into it. Ragland with an uncharacteristic big attack error. Usually so good on that one, but leaves it long, attacking into zone 1. I expect that we're going to see a lot more of those sets coming in, regardless of that hitting error. But there it is. Daniel Jacobs wastes no time going right back after Will Ragland. It aces him off the platform. Great point for the Tyrants as they take a 2-point lead here, 7-5. Ragland gets a piece of that one though, says not twice. Pazinski gets a really uncharacteristic loss of control from Quinones there. Kind of bounces off the tape and goes careening off into out of bounds there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones that Quinones wants back for sure. He wasn't able to handle the free ball pass off the tape, had a little too much spin on it. He passed that ball out of bounds and over the net.
Grosso, big swing off the ceiling. What would have been a great dig from Ragland, cut short by a girder here. Bold strategy trying to serve Malero. If I had one piece of strategy that I could talk about for a team that had never seen the Tyrants, it would simply be don't serve Jose Malero.
Serve the libero for the Tyrants.
It's kind of a general rule of thumb, but he only proves that case so much more.
Yeah.
Callahan with a float, misses wide. Man, both these teams going from fantastic points right back into just unforced errors. So leaving the door open for each other, whoever wants to kind of wake up and dial in first. Mountie goes short. Ragland on a quick ball. Nice swing into zone 5.
Well, this is very common here. You know, you talked about men's volleyball, a couple too many missed serves, right, to start a match back and forth, or back-to-back service errors. Very commonly, these two teams, they've got to feel each other out a little bit, right? Kind of find their groove, find their rhythm, especially early action here. It's 9 a.m. local time. Both these teams traveled yesterday, so trying to establish those connections and get the engines going.
Jacobs with a big D ball, dug by Untouchables. And now returned down the line. Will Ragland putting some names on that ball when he's swinging. Good thing Jacobs got his hands up because that had pace.
Nice attack down the line from the Untouchables that time. Jacobs not able to handle the heat.
Afaji, tight pass, and that one's jammed over by Robinson. Now Ragland gets a chance, wipes it off of Quinones. Little collision from the Tyrants. 2 men down, trying to recover. Ragland swings deep, too much for Malero to handle, and that goes out of bounds. Tyrants not happy with the set, but guys, we've got 4 events worth of not calling doubles. It's not gonna start now.
That was a pretty funny interaction there between Jacobs and Quinones. They ran into each other on the defensive side, got the ball up and over, and then ran into each other again as they went back to the blocking strategies.
Good pass from Afaji. Blocked but covered. Grosso with second hands. Dug by Callahan in the angle. Pancake from Malero. And Afaji will try it again. Tipped over the top. Easy pickup for Piot. Big swing from Ragland. Exact same swing now. He is open down the line. Daniel Jacobs better get the platform out, buddy, because he's coming for you.
Great counterattack from the Untouchables. Had 3 guys up on that triple block. Ragland worked really hard, but nice connection there to set him inside and allow him to go down the line for that point.
Pazinski continues the serving run. D-ball for Jacobs, and this time Ragland gets his hands on it, but not able to keep that one in. Great little return fire there from Jacobs on the D-ball. Nice run from Pazinski back there. 2-3 serves.
It's a better ball touch by you and I here in the broadcasting booth, Nick.
Got to get them GBTs. Game ball touches. Piot goes for a reset. A little bit of chaos. Ragland throws it off, comes back. That's where we see Anthony Robinson, maybe not as a traditional middle, but he's got so much experience, quick moves on the net. And we've seen 2 or 3 in a row now where he's just very sure-handed. He's not making, egregious mistakes, netting, getting caught up in there. But sometimes you see some of the less coordinated tall men make.
At 6'2", he's definitely the shortest middle blocker in the NVA, but very athletic, and that was a nice play by him.
Botom tries to connect there, but a little off balance. Afaji continues tipping, just looking for the recycle. And another high line swing. Wow, Will Ragland, 3 line swings in a row.
Well, he sees that it's wide open. I think the Tyrants are protecting the middle of their court. They might want to reevaluate that strategy. I mean, Will Ragland definitely has the range, but when you have Jose Malero playing left back, you want to try to force the hitters to go that way, right?
Yeah.
Not down the line.
Ricchetти with a float, targeting Malero once again. Robinson on a 3-ball getting involved. And it's interesting, one of those things you talk about so much as a blocker is if you're not sure who's going to be hitting where, you're not sure that they're going to hit it consistently, you'll give a hitter line. He gets a kill on line, no problem. Let him have that, see if he can earn it. By the 3rd kill, it's time to make some adjustments.
Yeah, especially at 3 points down the line in one set, that's definitely justification for making those adjustments.
Tight set. Piot recycles it, ball coming back. Ragland wipes it, and that's going to be a point for Chicago. I would hope to see Chicago challenge this. I saw pretty clearly this was a wipe from Ragland off the hands of the blocker there from Tyrants.
Yeah, Nick, and from my vantage point, I saw a very similar play, swiping it right off their hands. So, to our knowledge, I think this will be overturned, but it all depends on the camera view and what you can see.
There you go. Yep, there it is. That looked like a pretty good. They're going to slow it down all sorts, but that. What a great angle seeing that in here. Now keep in mind, regardless of what we see here, it's irrefutable evidence that must overturn the call. So that we might see another angle if it's required or if our judge officials see enough. Here, I would expect they might look at the line if needed to see any contact. Yep, this is the next angle. Showing our fans at home everything the NVA instant replay challenge system can do for us here. It's always great to see the variety of angles that, fans at home are seeing exactly what our team up top is seeing. And honestly, I'm not sure that they're going to get enough evidence to overturn here, but
I agree with you, Nick. Unfortunately, we've seen so historically that this call always goes towards the attacker and never the blocker, right? Which is why probably the initial call was made. And then you see it is confirmed. And the point will go to the Tyrants.
I think it's a great challenge. It's unfortunate, you know, sometimes it just doesn't unfold, and we still don't even know. Could have been the right call, and back underway. Callahan with a nice hand pass. Ragland wastes no time. He didn't like that last call, but that's a big kill on the right side as Ragland picks up his 4th or 5th kill there.
Yeah, that's exactly the response that you would come to expect from Will Ragland, right?
He's on track doing everything he needs to put this team in a place to win. Jordan Robinson reverses to Callahan, and Callahan chisels the block. Man, the outside hitters right now are absolutely cleaning up the trash for the side of Chicago.
They certainly are, and that's a great matchup for the Untouchables, is Callahan going up against Robinson and Jacobs, so pretty evenly matched height-wise attack that time, but Robinson through the middle gets the quick attack for the point.
Yeah, Votam Liu caught a little bit of cement in his boots there, didn't quite get off the ground. I think he was expecting that to go out to Grasso on the outside. Short float. Piote has a double block, but finds the line there. Man, the line swinging from Chicago. This is some of the best we've seen from any team all season long.
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Nick. They're doing a great job attacking the lines. They must have watched some video on the Tyrants in preparation for this match and realized that the line block is and the line seam is wide open to attack.
Take advantages of some of those size mismatches. We've seen Ryan Mouney and Austin Lovett. Obviously, Austin's not here, but in terms of preparing for this match, 2 of the best blocking middles in the league. So less angle swings definitely behooves you. You know, find that line, take advantage of Grasso's smaller stature as well as Gabo Quinones. Outside once again. Quick set. Grasso attacks angle, misses the hands after finding the tape. And that's going to bring us to our technical timeout. 16-15, a 1-point lead for the Chicago Untouchables. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Well, Matt, I think you were bringing up a great point while we were chatting during that timeout, and you were talking a little bit about how tight of a set you'd like to see from Chicago. You want to expand on that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. So since the Tyrants blockers, right, are maybe a little bit undersized just because of their personnel that they have today, it might behoove the Untouchables a little bit to set that ball tighter, error tight, instead of off the net, because you can do more against the block than off when you're just tipping the ball over.
It's definitely a great point. We'll see if that's something they rely on here. And as Piote Namioko leaves that one short, that's going to be 16 apiece. So middle of the game, it is now a race to 9. See how these teams continue to wake up as we see some great points, but just a couple unforced errors from both teams.
No surprise there. Gian Grasso just not finding his jump serve rhythm quite yet in this match either. Probably the strongest jump server for the Tyrants, but a few too many service errors from him so far.
Good pass, D-ball, but rolled over. The location misses are killing the Tyrants right now. Nice dig from Mulero. And another tip, but that one's thrown straight down. right now, that's another thing we talked about during the timeout, is it feels like there's a lot of missed synchronicity between Quinones and his hitters right now. So a lot of tips coming over, and Chicago taking good care of him. Oh,
Not
Ryan
through the middle,
Mounty.
though, Nick. I was waiting to see if he was going to go to the middle, and you're right. The synchronicity and the connection to the outsides haven't been spot on, but if that's not working, fortunately for the Tyrants, they've got Ryan Mounty through the middle, set quick, and score the point.
Pazinski threads that one through. Afaji tries to help out the double block, but to no avail. Pazinski quietly having a nice little game for himself, contributing. Gets an out-of-system serve there, but Afaji bails himself out.
That's a big swing by Afaji and the Tyrants. Ragland, for some reason, decided not to go on the three-man block, and if he had, he might have gotten that stuff down, but Tyrants get the side out.
Short float, out of system. Ragland with a big step close and an even bigger swing. Man, he gets that look in his eyes. You can tell when that ball goes up that his ability to speed up his approach, to just put as much power behind it, it's kind of that almost like I'm just going to close my eyes and swing sort of look.
I think Will Ragland wants the post-match MVP interview.
Yeah. Ooh, huge dig. Ragland tracks it down, and this is going to be free balled back over. Tyrants with a big opportunity. Ooh, Jordan Robinson wants that one back, but Jacobs gets a quick little swing down the line. That set looked a little low, so he had to speed his swing up there, but
I actually thought that Will Ragland was going to block that ball, considering where the set was, but a good adjustment by the hitter, and another point towards the Tyrants, though. Still down by one here as we get to the business end of set number one, Nick.
20-19, Chicago, they want to side this one out real quick, see if they can extend their lead coming into the into this set. So, of course, Ragland's the answer. What a set from Afaji. Triple block slows it down. Ragland again. This time he's blocked but covered. Robinson goes back, and this is going to have to just be kept alive. Malera with a low pass. Inside set, no problem. Votam Lu says, take it back, sir. I don't want any of that.
Votam Lu with a very disciplined block that time to realize the inside set was coming for Grasso, something that the Tyrants love to do late in games. Votam Lu shuts it down for that stuff block.
Gets another handle on it. Deflected for Callahan to take a swing now. Dug by Malero. Back row attack for Afaji, but tipped over once again. Callahan gets another swing attempt. Jacobs is the option, but the block is the answer. Votam Lu, can't say it enough.
Back-to-back stuff downs from Votam Lu, the 6'4" middle blocker.
Woo! Matt, you love to see the middle coming alive, especially someone that we thought might not be the difference maker and potentially something to be exploited here, making a case for himself. 3-point lead. We'll be right back. Well, Matt, as we get back into this, it's funny, the Tyrants this season feels like how I talked about the Stingers all last year. If you want to take them down, that first set is where they're going to be slow, they're exploitable, they're kind of turning the engine on, as it were. And so, you've really got to win this one. So Chicago, so far, doing all the right pieces.
Yes, they are, Nick. You make a great point. Tyrants traditionally very slow starting in set number one, but there's a huge swing for Daniel Jacobs going off of Callahan for that point.
Man, if that had been 3 blocks in a row, that would have been an impressive little run there for Chicago, but Jacobs showing exactly why he's the starting right side option for them. Nice pass from Robinson. Callahan's the option once again, and Mountie a bit late to the pin. Not over the net there. Serving substitution for Votom. And that's going to bring Ron Dunn, the only sub on the bench. I guess Kai DeQuim actually not coaching this weekend, so he's usable as well. But Ron Dunn, the backup setter, will come in. Formerly of New Jersey Freedom, now with Chicago. An effective first serve. A free ball over, swatted back by Piot. And Grasso is very thankful that Piot stopped that one. That's one you just want to pull your hands, let it come over, take advantage.
Yeah, that's frustrating to watch, Nick, a little bit, because the Untouchables did everything to get the Tyrants out of system.
Yep.
Tyrants are literally going to set the ball over. There is zero reason to block on that one. Stay down, let your back row take it, get a good transition attack out of it.
Now we see Tim Johnson coming in as a blocking sub, which means Isaiah Afaji going from outside. He's going to be stepping in as setter. Their setter from last season. He was part of that 6-2 that they ran last year between Quinones and Afaji. So earlier we saw him set a great ball out of middle back. That's why. He's an outside hitter setter combo. So a little bit of a dynamic solution, but that block or that sub is here undone. Out of system, another opportunity for Chicago. And Jacobs leaves that one short. That started with that sub being undone. Tyrants were out of rotation, kind of got out of sorts trying to get back into it. And Chicago squeaks that one out there. Little stolen set number one.
Yeah, it was a 5-point victory. I mean, followed up by some solid blocking at the end and then 2 errors by the Tyrants to finish off set number one. So, we'll see what happens as this match unfolds, but for the Untouchables, that's a great start.
It definitely is. We're going to have to see in set number 2, do Tyrants wake up a little bit, clean up the game, or Chicago Untouchables getting the engine rolling early? We'll have to see right after this. Don't go anywhere. Set number 2 coming right back at you. Time to get back into set number 2. Matt, that was a decisive win, 25-20 for Chicago over Texas Tyrants there. What'd you see? What do you think we're going to see?
Well, I definitely like the block and defense of the Untouchables there to close out set number 1. We saw 2 big stuffs from Wutan Liu there, the middle blocker for the Untouchables, and then the Tyrants giving up 2 points at the very end as well, a missed serve and that attack into the net. So, you know, I like seeing the effort from the Untouchables. I think they can kind of sense that they have an opportunity here. Will Ragland has got to continue to pass the ball well and side out at a high percentage. Meanwhile, get some good contributions from Namioko and Callahan on the outsides, an occasional attack through the middle. But for the Tyrants, you know, no changes to their personnel, and they are extremely thin. They have to limit their errors even more because now the Untouchables are playing a pretty solid brand of volleyball through set number 1.
Impressive to see. Photon Liu, first server here. Untouchables want to keep Pazinski front row as long as possible, but the missed serve will end that strategy rapidly, with Gabo Quinones now to serve for the Texas Tyrants.
Interesting rotation choice to start out the match for the Untouchables with that serve, but down 0-1 now.
Bests Robinson there. A little bit of an uncharacteristic miss there from what we've seen so far from Callahan. Pazinski getting involved early, and there it is, a nice middle attack. Piot leaves it short. That is 3 errors from Chicago so far, 2 serving, 1 hitting.
Yeah, that's not the best start
No,
for the
it is
Untouchables. Fortunately, there's a long way to go still here in set number 2.
Alfaji keeps that one in. Easy pass means middle attack. Nice dig there. And Alfaji showcasing the hands once again. And Grasso with a nice little bailout throw. Kind of jams that one through. When you see someone that far outside the antenna, that's where you've really got to be a disciplined block. You don't need to go high after it, just get over the net. I don't think the ball rotated 1 time. That was an authoritative miss. Float serve, jump serve.
That was the best knuckleball I've seen so far. That was clean.
Tight pass. Ragland cuts it back. Callahan finds a dig, but too much on it from Grasso. And that's going to be a back row attack there called. That's a good call. When Ragland went up to swing, he hit Gabo Quinones' hands. Okay, so getting a little clarification here. What I believe is going on is that Gabo Quinones, setter for the Tyrants, is back row. So when that ball came tight, Ragland swung at his hands. If he is above the net and made contact, then that is a back row blocker, so therefore called as a back row attack.
Correct.
So right now what is being challenged is if contact was made on the swing from Ragland hitting Gabo Quinones. If contact was made, we'll see this overturned and go to Chicago. Once again, great challenge. We both saw this, but if the replay doesn't show it.
Yeah, got to make sure that it's on camera, visible for the overturn to be effective, or else the Untouchables may lose a second challenge here.
Yeah, and talking about the importance of that, the way our challenge system works, you get 3 challenges for the first 4 sets. You can use them at any time, and if you get it right, meaning that you either or that you're able to overturn the call that was made, then you keep your challenge. If you get it wrong, then you lose it. That means that Chicago lost their first challenge. They have only 2 remaining, and they've just used another. If this is wrong, that will leave them with only 1 for the remaining 3 potential sets. However, once you get to set number 5, regardless of how many you have, you're awarded one and only one with the same rules applying. I didn't get a chance to see the clips there myself, but okay, so we got confirmation from our R2 there. That was that no touch was made. It hit tape, basically, is what I think they're saying that it. Well, they didn't say if it hit tape. I think it did hit tape in that case. But that is going to be a back row attack now. Piotr Namiotko with a small infraction, but infraction all the same, cannot step on that 3-meter black line across the court. Yeah, that means with that second failed attempt, Chicago now with only one challenge. That's a tough spot to be in, Matt. The set right back to Piotr, and now he misses wide. 2 errors in a row. Richetti tries to kind of get him right back involved, but unable to do so. And that's going to be a timeout called. 7-2. Tyrants have woken up here early, but we'll see if Chicago can answer back. Don't go anywhere right after this. Anthony Robinson back in serving. Short float. Back row attack once again. Richetti feeling a lot of confidence from his back row options with Callahan and Namiotko, but 3 hitting errors in a row. At 8-2, I think Chicago might have 6 unforced errors on their end right now.
Sounds about right. Yeah, they've really got to clean it up.
And a dump over. Richetti done with the rest of his hitters making errors. Says, I'll get this one done myself. Hey, guys, here's how you put it in the court over the net. I respect that. Brzezinski goes after Malero, and you get the result there. Votam Liu gets exposed by the high fly, and Mountie gotta stop serving Malero.
You have to stop serving Malero. There's a reason why he's the libero and wearing a different colored jersey. That doesn't make him a target.
Yeah, that's a avoid at all costs color. Good ball from Ragland. Nice reversal there. Richetti trusts Piotr once again. Namiotko gets it done on the D ball, going down the line from a cross-court set.
Yeah, it's a really good against the flow set to the back row player. Namiotko, with no block in front of him, hammers it down the line for that point.
And now Tyrants take their turn. Daniel Jacobs not to be outdone. Little game within the game there.
Back and forth action. You set my back row right side, he scores, I'll do the same thing, we score, and it's a little, head-to-head action here.
Grasso missed his last serve long. Definitely not going to take any off the gas here. See if he can get another one going. And that he does. And Piotr does as well. He's starting to warm up. We saw him, he's a big guy that they've got to get involved. Will Ragland carrying the offensive load for 3 to 4 sets. That sounds like a recipe not bound for longevity.
Ryan Mountie has to get his hands over the net to block that ball. His hands were straight up and down. I had the perfect angle on that one. Goes off of his forearm and down on the Tyrants side because he's not penetrating over the net.
Tight pass, back set. Wow, Gabo Quinones with the bailout right there. Mountie works hard, gets rewarded.
The Untouchables have to be aggressive on the potential overpasses as well from the Tyrants. Too many times they're being too easy on it and not going up and hitting it. That should have been an instant point for the Untouchables.
Robinson covers his block touch. Now to Afaji. Sent back by Lou. Grosso is the back row attack, and a back row. It's going to be a back row attack there.
Now the big attack just not really clicking yet for the Tyrants either. That's Grasso's second or third big attack error of this match so far.
But both teams know with some understaffed squads, they're going to have to get everyone involved, so they're willing to keep finding things. Matt, I wish I could just do a quick little rewind back to 3 points ago where you talked about the need for the Chicago Untouchables to take care of the overpass. They're doing all the hard work on the service line. That's the third one we've seen this match. They do all the hard work and then don't just do the easy job on the net.
Exactly. I mean, credit to Quinones, the setter for the Tyrants, to take care of it, but the Untouchables really have to be aggressive on their overpass attacking.
Callahan blocked back, covered. Pazinski tries to take an out-of-system swing there. Misses it. No matter how Chicago Untouchables feels about that one, no chance we see a challenge there. A, because they only have one left, but B, down by 7, there is way too much on the line to risk anything there.
Yeah, exactly. Can't utilize the challenge unless it's a certainty at this point for them.
Ragland gets in there, but Grosso with a one-handed scoop. And Afaji finishes the job. Wow, what a dig from Grosso.
Grosso doing a great job just sitting and holding his position, gets that one-handed scoop off the big attack. The Tyrants able to score on the transition attack that time as well.
That was a near perfect pass. I just watched it back. What an impressive move. Good pass from Callahan. Piot blocked, covered by Pazinski. Another good cover. Robinson in transition. Free ball coming. Callahan swings, Doug. Punch back over, another free ball opportunity. Good block touch, slows it down. Malero goes to Afaji. Low and inside, chipped alive. Ricchetti keeps it up. Tight ball. Callahan swings into the angle, covered once again. We are still playing on. Into the middle, Pazinski gets it done. What an impressive rally from both of these squads. Chicago Untouchables keeping it clean, but the Tyrants defense unrelenting until Chris Pazinski in the middle, number 28, little exclamation point on a bit of a run-on sentence.
Well, something that happened during that rally was Malero and Grosso colliding on a dig, and Grosso a little slow to get up, holding his left shoulder. It'll be interesting to see if that plays into this match at all moving forward.
Hate to see that. That's kind of one of those, everyone's eye on ball and you don't see where everyone else is going. You got to make the move. So hopefully just a little bit of a zinger and he'll be okay. Afaji serves short, but Ragland all over that one. Callahan tips it into the campfire. Warm your hands up, boys, because that's an easy point for the Chicago Untouchables. Still down by 7. There is a long mountain to climb. But Matt, we always talk about the importance of getting a little bit of that momentum back on your side, and I think that's where Chicago's at.
However, in order to get that momentum back on your side, you have to serve the ball over the net, Nick.
Yeah, over the net. Over the net, in the court.
Is that a new rule? Or did they just have that?
I believe that's a rule as old as time. However, watching
both teams need a refresher.
Back-to-back float serves in the net is one that really grinds my gears. Miss it long, especially if you're a float server. Inexcusable. Pazinski continues with the service pressure, though. He's had a heck of a run this match so far, attacking the 5-6 seams. And imagine that, you don't serve the libero.
How about that?
And there it is.
How about that, Nick? How about that? Make your serve, don't serve the libero, and you might have a chance to score some points.
And there it is, another free ball coming back, taken by Callahan. He was so far over, might as well have been a 5 ball. Will Ragland picked up 5 kills in set number 1, and apparently we're a little gun shy on setting him now. Nice pass. Easy dump. Mountie in transition. Good cover by Robinson, and a second dump attempt. Picked up. Jacobs gets the job done. That's tough. Ricchetти had some luck with the dump early on when the hitters needed some help. But seeing back-to-back dump attempts there, getting stopped. Tough spot. Untouchables looks like they are in a bit of a rut right now, taking a timeout at 18-10. We'll be right back. Chicago Untouchables. We'll see if they got a little bit of a, a hoorah talk there. See if they can kind of get things going the right way, because right now they've got to clean up some of these unforced errors. Great pass from Ragland. He gets the set, he gets the swing, and there's a net from the Tyrants. Imagine that, Matt. Ragland continues diming a pass, give it to him. And regardless of the net call, that point was over within, an eighth of a second more. He hammered that ball.
Absolutely. I mean, keep your guy involved. He's passing the ball great for you. Keep him in rhythm and utilize him through the front row. I mean, this second set might have gotten away from the Untouchables now with 11 serving 18, but you got to keep Ragland warmed up and in the system.
Grosso goes after Ragland. Good pass. Ragland on a little bit of a slide route there, but a one-on-one block from Afaji. Huge serve, gets a hold of Callahan. Ricchetti can't track that one down. This is what your unforced errors buys you. It buys guys like Grosso, who have been making a couple errors. He has no pressure on him to change. He gets to keep just going after it until he finds his groove.
I couldn't agree with you more, Nick. You build up a lead, you make so many unforced errors, and then the Tyrants are just free to play as hard as they want, which can be a bit demoralizing.
And now backs against the wall. Chicago's piles on some more errors. Grosso gets just behind that one, but after he just showcased why he has the green light the whole time. Is 2 big serves in a row, gets a nice little run put together, and the Tyrant lead not only maintains but extends to 10, 22-12. Mountie getting a little fancy right there. Right. There it is, Votam Liu in the middle. A name we haven't said this set yet. Ron Dunn coming in as a subbing option once again.
The Untouchables have to run their middles more. Both of them are effectively more on point than the Tyrants' middles, so the Untouchables have to utilize that matchup.
Good pass by Grosso, good transition. Ragland off the net from 15 feet, getting it done. Man, watching Grosso pass that ball so casually as it came through just to put Tyrants back into system there is exactly why you've got to find Afaji as much as possible. But Dunn targets Malero. And a swing down the line, Ragland not coming up with it. Daniel Jacobs continues contributing steadily here. Galo Quinones. Good pass means easy middle option. Pazinski in the middle scores well there in the one-on-one. That's as easy as it needs to be. A good pass means you get to attack your big middle into Anthony Robinson and make an easy point.
That pass is up to the tape. The Untouchables have to go quick more often.
Now it's the Tyrants' turn. Quick set back. Left a little low by the time it got to the pin. But sitting at 8 defendable match or set points here doesn't really matter for the Tyrants. Big swing into the angle. Afaji gets a second chance, and that's going to do it. Set split at 1 apiece. We're going to be back for set number 3. Don't go anywhere.
And we're back here for the start of set 3, and this is exactly the Tyrants and the Untouchables teams that we've seen all season. The Tyrants slow starting, finding the rhythm in the second and third sets. And the Untouchables, I mean, doing it to themselves. I mean, Nick and Matt, you guys have been jumping out of your chair with anger at some of the play-making decisions and just errors that we've been seeing from the Untouchables. And that's what we've seen from them all season, sort of really shooting themselves in the foot. And even though they have the talent and the skill and they were in it in that match, I think errors pretty even in that first set. Errors way on the side of the Untouchables in the second. So we'll have to see if they're able to kind of right the ship and play the volleyball that they know they can play. And on their bench, on the sideline, that's what they told themselves in this break is we're doing it ourselves. It's all us. So we have to figure out a way to play our best volleyball.
Well, insightful as always, Noah. Love to hear that the team is at least aware that it is all themselves, and they've just got to keep picking that one up. On the side of the Tyrants, though, that machine is well-oiled now, and it's moving. So Chicago Untouchables, they've really got to pick this up from the get-go. They do not have time.
The Untouchables, they have to set the tone early. They missed their first serve of set number 2 and never got into any rhythm after that.
Yeah.
Two attack errors, possibly 3 or even 4 in a row, but that is the start that they need to have is set quick, get their offense firing. Now they have to go back, make their first serve, and really put some pressure on the Tyrants from the very first whistle of the set.
You couldn't be more right. Lou is a little undersized. Maybe we haven't seen him in many events, but he's scoring effectively. Don't be gun shy. Like, give him that chance. Even if he's scoring every other swing, that's that's great. Great effectiveness in the middle. So there's a lot more wiggle room there compared to some of the other errors.
And something else that I'm not seeing from the Untouchables is their trademark emotion, right?
Yeah.
They're a very emotional team. They play better when they get excited, and right now they have no rhythm, so they have no emotion. They're not excited. They're not having fun, and they need to turn that around as well.
Out of system there, and Grasso leaves that one short. A bit of a tough second ball from Mulero. He seemed like he's had a couple of contacts today that aren't exactly where he wants them, and it's kind of, the Tyrants have also just been out of system, so it's both these teams trying to clean up the small things. His serve receiver has not struggled, that's for sure, though. This has got to go on 3. Set to the middle, Robinson with an easy tip. And that's going to be a net from Chicago. And, this is kind of one of those game theory things of, even though Robinson's not necessarily the main option as a middle and you're forcing that set a little bit, it keeps the blocker on Chicago honest. So they know that he's still going to get set, even when a middle should be, even if Robinson may not be the most comfortable. So I do like that set there. I do not like the set there. Got another good pass. Pazinski's front row. I'd like to see him get involved and run that there. Good cover on the ball. Grasso just manhandles that one and shuts Namiotko down. And there it is. Clockwork. 28 gets it done. Set your middles, guys. Everyone at home, I don't care if you're 14 or you've been playing the game for 25 years. Set your middles.
Couldn't have said it better myself, Nick.
I'm not a middle anymore.
Either am I.
It was only when I was in those young days, but still a big advocate. It's a big part of the game, underutilized as well. Big swing, Daniel Jacobs into the angle, zone 1 there. Good kill. Jacobs gets a piece of that one. There it is, Callahan able to get that one through. Nice pass by Grosso. Jacobs is the option again. One-on-one, he's not stoppable right here in the third set. Both setters have been enjoying going that back cross court out of system D-ball, and it's working quite well. Good pass from Callahan, there's the dump, red. And Grosso swings, kicked it, kept alive, and now it comes to an end. Nice serve from Pazinski, but it's in system, and there's Mounty. Dug by Pazinski. Piot gets a touch and sends that one out of the back of the court. The big man can do it all. You know, every set tells a story in the greater part of a match. Will Ragland was the answer in set number 1. Set number 3, Chris Pazinski already off to a massive start. Feed him all day long, serving well, getting a defensive stop. Got to use him while he's there, but Afaji unloads. What a transition. He's gone from setter for the team last year to a massive role player on the outside here this season. Played outside hitter in college, wasting no time returning to true form. I think Ragland might have hit us. If you watched his arm swing there, there was no intention of hitting the court with that swing. Good at chisel off the block. Tyrants out of system, free ball coming. Ragland one-on-one, and Gabo Quinones, a terrifying solo block. Ragland gets another chance, recycled. And now Piot off the hands, easy dig for Grosso. Tight bump set, and the Tyrants are able to bail it out. Afaje using quite a bit of size there. Set to the middle, forced there. And Anthony Robinson wastes no time. Richetti outside, miscommunication between Grosso and Malero there. Namioko gets away with one. But the block touch looked good.
Look, there's not a lot going in favor for the Untouchables right now. That's a nice attack by Namiako. And yes, does he get away with one? A little bit, because it was a good deflection, but something the Untouchables have to find is some rhythm. And right now they have zero of it, to be honest, Nick.
Man, and it feels like Tyrants just can do no wrong. There's a lot of, you talked early on about Chicago maybe setting tighter. Right now we're seeing the Tyrants doing it and reaping all the rewards. Nice one-handed set from Quinones there, connecting with Robinson. And that's going to be off the block into the antenna, meaning a point for the Untouchables.
And Nick and Matt, we're seeing some calls in the chat saying we want Tim Johnson and put Tim in, and he's the Tyrants' lone bench player at the moment. And I think that speaks to the selflessness that we see from a lot of these top teams in the league, is that I just spoke to Tim on the bench, and he says, we're happy with the guys we have out in the court, and when my number's called, I'll happily go in. But for now, I'm happy to do my role as Grosso does his role, stuffing that one back in the court for another Tyrant point. But, a lot of these teams with these plethora of talented players, some guys who can maybe jump out of the gym like Tim Johnson have to take a back seat, and to see him okay with that role and patiently wait for his time is a pleasure to see.
Always interesting to hear from the players, especially mid-set. Love to hear that, Noah. Quick recovery from Tim on the outside. Good dig from Quinones. Hard angle swing that misses wide. And that's going to be a point for the Untouchables, stringing together a couple here. Also love to see the Texas teams, Dallas Tornadoes and Texas Tyrants, have two of the most ardent fan bases out of Texas. So love to see that everyone dialed in on this Friday afternoon out in Texas, supporting their boys in orange and white. Now Miyoko hammers that one. This might be sprayed out of bounds, kept together by Quinones. And Jacobs cleans up the trash. What a set from Gabo Quinones with a great rundown. A little bit of a sweat wipe up there. Got to make sure that there's no slippery parts of the court. Don't want someone getting hurt. Clean the court, maybe ice the server a little bit. Jacobs leaves that one short.
Yeah, some nice gamesmanship there from the Untouchables. They're a little slow when it comes to wiping down some fluid that might be on the court after a diving play, but
no ice needed from the Tyrants to slow down the Windy City on that missed serve. Callahan leaving that one short. And Grasso's serves this match have already told a story in and of themselves. We'll see if he's able to put this one back in. Stays with the big jump serve and sends it long. I believe that's his fourth serving error. Not quite finding what he wants, but again, we talked about it last time. When he had all the point lead in the world, there was no pressure on him. Now a little bit more pressure as Chicago's down by just one. It changes the scope of the game, so Chicago keeping themselves very in this set. Sling it back to DJ, but this time Will Ragland sends it back.
And now perhaps a little emotion coming from the side of the Untouchables after that huge two-man stuff down against Daniel Jacobs out of the back row.
He was setting himself up for a very authoritative game so far. See if he gets the set back here. Ooh, off the net. Afaji has to adjust. Ragland gets a chance, gets a block touch. Will Ragland's starting to get back on top of this one. 14-13, first lead for Chicago in 2 sets here. Perfect pass from Mulero means a run from Mountie called in, tied at 14s. Wow, that was a bit of a knuckle serve that kind of took off there, but perfect pass from Mulero. Short serve catches Lou, transitioning in the middle. And Gabo Quinones catches Will Ragland.
A little redemption on that block that time for Quinones.
Very straight down. Mountie goes for his favorite short float. Leaves it just a bit too short. We always talk about leaving float serves in the net. For a guy like Mountie, I care a lot less because we've seen that's what his serve is. He attacks short, he does it well. But guys that are just hitting deep floaters, drives me nuts. Tried to track down for Chicago, but unable to do so. Just too much heat on the side of the Tyrants, and that's going to bring us to our technical timeout. A 1-point lead, 16-15. We'll be right back. Well, a technical timeout here with just 1 point celebrating these teams. Splitting these teams, yeah, 16-15. Gabo Quinona is doing a nice little job from the service line here. See if he can extend this a little bit more and give the Tyrants some more breathing room. A block touch recycle. Ragland will get a chance. And he gets a block touch, catches Afaji's finger. Everybody on Tyrants didn't see it except for Afaji, who knew very well that was a big touch. Nice call by our officiating crew. $16 apiece. Grasso has to air that one out, and Malero swings it back. Over the top of the block, no touch, another Chicago point. 17-16, they're back in the lead.
For Chicago, they're staying within striking distance, right, which is good, okay? You can be down by 2 or 3, go on a little run, score some points back, but obviously there we see Ragland miss his serve, and so we're tied at 17s all now. At least in set number 3, the Untouchables are keeping it close.
Yep.
So that at the end here, it could basically go either way.
Afaji picks on Callahan, but Namioko, nothing for the block there. Nicely moved by Robinson and Grasso. God, Grasso might be a bit smaller, but if you watch the technique on his hands, he seals around the ball so well to just shut that down. Saved, Chicago paddles it over. Tries to get fancy, free ball coming back. Callahan now gets a chance to get blocked back. That is not the swing he was hoping for, but Robinson now going pin to pin, part of 2 blocks back to back. That's going to be a timeout by Chicago after losing the handle on that. 3-point difference there. We'll be right back to see how this one concludes. Well, I think that's a good timeout here. They don't want to lose their momentum, but nice to see the Tyrants block is what's really scoring them some points right now. And with Anthony Robinson in the middle, no less. You know, we talked about how he would influence this game, but moving laterally exceptionally well right now. Grasso with the out-of-system roll shot, picked up by Callahan. Namioko chisels that one off. Able to move his feet well there, scores the point. The Ron Dunn sub coming in for Votam Liu once again. Another nice serve there, Ron Dunn. He's been very effective. He's gotten a couple overpasses. That one's going to be an ace. Cut that one short beautifully. Float from Robinson. Quick set to the middle. Nice dig by Robinson. Out of system. Nice swing by Grasso means Chicago and a bit of chaos. Mountie swinging on the 3-ball. And too much for Ragland there. A great in transition run to the middle. 21-19, still anyone's game, but Tyrants positioning themselves very well here. Pazinski dug once again by Robinson. Afaji's gonna free ball this one over, see if Pazinski gets another chance. He does, and he scores on the second one. Very good job by the Untouchables there.
Like to see the Untouchables going quick. First option, and then again in the counterattack that time, effectively scoring that point, but get your middles involved a little bit more. They've been working well for the Untouchables all match long.
Piot now putting the pressure. Chicago with some big serves out of the gate here. Rewarded for the accuracy too, hitting Afaji. 21 apiece, Matt.
Lots of game left to play still, but
for any of our newer fans, it's a win by 2, so it's not just a race to 25. And that one goes just long. Jacobs hammers the serve. But Namioko able to get a big swing. Nice dig from Jacobs, and he gets the set. Dug by Ragland. And swung and unloaded by Callahan there. In transition, no problem. One-on-one blocker favors Chicago majorly from a big swing from number 11.
like to see that. Number 11 taking a big swing for the Untouchables. Tied at 22 points apiece now. That service error, though, doesn't help the cause.
Oh, man, Grasso leaves that one short. 23 apiece. He's missed some of those jumps like we talked about. Tries to go with the safer option. Gets a little too cheeky with it. Pazinski has served well all match. That's an untimely miss. But Ryan Mounty looks to redeem himself here after his last service line. And Chicago doesn't want to give it to him easy. They're going to call a timeout here to see if they can ice him at 24-23. Don't go anywhere. The exciting conclusion right after this. Both teams taking the court back here just out of that timeout. Chicago seeing if they can slow down Ryan Mounty. And there's going to be a substitution that we saw a bit ago. Tim Johnson coming in as a blocking sub. So that's going to mean that Isaiah Afaji will take hands. I would expect, but they're in an interesting rotation. Let's see how this one plays out. Set to the outside. Ragland swings, puts it in. Never had to see it. I think that was kind of a little nod to what we see the stunners do a lot of the times. Sometimes you just, anyone on the court can take hands. So if you make a little adjustment like that, you don't really have to worry. Ragland rapidly approaching double-digit kills here. Afaji swings off blocker, catches Ragland in the face. Timely swing for number 11 in orange and white. Callahan's the target. Ragland able to punch that one through. Will Ragland doing everything he can to keep this set alive for the Chicago Untouchables. 25 apiece, Matt. We're about to see some extra innings.
Overtime volleyball, Nick.
And Ragland steers away from his jump serve to go to a float and misses. Afaji. Good pass. Botam Lu, there it is. I love the confidence. Even with the set on the line, they go to the undersized middle, but he delivers. Sick cut back to zone 1 right there.
Untouchables have to wait to find a real point here to take the advantage back.
Good pass from Afaji. Missed set location from Gabo Quinones. Sets that one cross court, tries to find Grasso, and misses him altogether.
Been a long time since I've seen one of those, Nick. That set went over the net and outside the antenna. Nearly hit the first official up on the stand, and now Untouchables have their first chance at set point.
Lou with another good serve, but a great pass by Afaji. Grasso gets it back. Swings that one off the block out of the back of the court. That's a lot of pace on that ball. And once again, tied now at 27s. Callahan swings it down the line, finds a hole. I don't know where he put that ball right there, but that was a heck of a swing.
Hard to tell exactly from our angle where that ball went. I thought it went over Daniel Jacobs' block. You know, we'll have to watch it back later to get a final verdict on it, but a point nonetheless for Untouchables and another chance now at set point.
Piot with the big toss. And he catches Grasso out of system. Ragland runs the D ball, but dug by Afaji. Grasso no approach, no problem. Ragland now to Callahan. Callahan tips, taken by Grasso out of system. You go, I go. Who's going to take it? Afaji free ball. A set over, given a free ball chance here. And Grasso puts that away. Noah Ricchetti handing it over on a silver platter. All he needed to do was set a hitter and gives the Tyrants back a free opportunity. Jacobs unloads, overpass, missed, it's gotta go, it's gotta go. Lucky bounce for Tyrants to even get a chance. And Piotr Namiotko gets the touch, and that's gonna get another point, continuing it to 20, now 29-28, 1 point lead for Chicago. Matt, I don't have words. I'm just gonna let the next one go. 29 apiece. Puzinski swings into the double block. Afaji out of system, tries to step close. We're seeing some uncharacteristic out-of-system play from the Tyrants right now, and I don't know whether it's, you know, just not taking control of the first ball. I don't know if it's location on sets on the out-of-system.
Well, the Tyrants are trying to give the Untouchables as many chances as needed to win this set.
They really are. And the Untouchables are seeing if they can just miss every serve, handing it right back.
You cannot win the set if you miss your serves.
There's a dump, Doug once again. Grasso swings, and that's a back row attack. Chicago bailed out.
It's almost as if neither one of these teams wants to win this set, Nick.
Just kicking it back and forth. 31-30. Good pass by Grasso. Robinson has to tip. Good dig by Ricchetti. Piotr misses that one over the top of the block. Looking for hands, doesn't find it. 31-31. Matt, this feels like a bit of a race to see who can mitigate errors for 2 points. Whoever can do that is going to win this match, or this set. Little wipe down here on the court after Ricketti's diving up to keep that tip alive. Short float, Callahan ready for it though. Big swing from Votam Liu. He's continued to contribute very well offensively in the middle.
He is, and I'd love to see him get some more opportunities through the middle from Ricketти.
All right, 32-31, Ragland stays with the float. Finds it in this time, but a good pass from Grosso could mean trouble. And trouble indeed. Nice swing from Jacobs on the outside off the block. The Tyrants stick with it. Float from Afaji. Robinson misses that one a bit, but Pioch finds it there. The hands that he missed the previous swing, he picks up, and Mulero and Afaji, a little miscommunication. Liu with a big toss. And the biggest miss of the match. Float from Robinson, once again targeting Callahan. Piotr Nemiotko, he's only gotten more and more terminal. Missed that first one wide, gets a nice chisel into the corner, and then buries that one cross court. Chicago now at 34-33, another set point opportunity. Jacobs now to serve. Callahan chips it down the line and misses, and that's now going to be a Tyrants lead at 35-34. If they can play one more point of error-free volleyball, I can say with some certainty that Chicago will make the error for them. But who am I? Who am I? 35-35. Float serve from Callahan. Grosso wide on that one. He's saying he got a touch with a lot of certainty. He's going straight to challenge that. So that will be a challenge, and we're going to see this one unfold. Either way, not a bad challenge. I didn't see the touch, but Grosso might have heard it right there. I mean, he is in the middle of it, so.
I mean, he has the best angle of anyone that could see it,
Yep.
even though I didn't see it either. I didn't see a ball change direction or anything like that, so we'll see here what our video challenge system shows us.
That looks well over. Either way, like I said, I like the challenge given where we're at in this set and how many challenges they have left.
Yeah.
This is a great challenge.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to challenge at this point of the set. Whether or not it is confirmed or overruled, you have to use one here.
From what we see, that looks pretty over the top, but will be verified here by our team shortly. Yep, that's a great look at it. And just so the fans at home know what you're looking at, basically with I think we have an 11 camera system that runs our challenge system, And so right now, you're actually getting a live feed directly from the crew that's moving it around between the zoom-ins. They're reviewing all 11 cameras, which are recording simultaneously. So at times, if it looks a little jumpy, that's because they're just kind of moving back and forth through a variety of different files to find exactly what's going on, because we just want to make sure that we're providing you guys an honest look as to what's being reviewed by our team and our head ref upstairs. So another angle that we've got both cameras on the tape. See if this shows anything different. And it looks like that is just over the top from what I'm seeing. Play it back and forth both ways. See if there's any change in ball trajectory, things like that, any finger wiggle.
Set point now for the Untouchables, Nick.
Afaji, great pass. Mountie, Doug, here's an opportunity. Namioko is dug by Mulero. Grosso with a big swing, finds the touches there. Namioko once again, but Doug once again, and now a tight ball. Grosso swings, and not to be denied twice is Gianluca Grosso, number 9. Great rally from both teams. Hope to see a little bit more of that here. Misserve there from Grosso. Unfortunately, that's kind of his responsibility in the serving lineup for the Tyrants, just to go after his serve, but Pazensky now back on top of his jump serve. Afaji with a nice recycle off the block, gets himself another set opportunity. Mountie pulls the middle, and Afaji puts it away. Clinical offensive run there from Afaji, doing a great job managing those swings. .37s apiece. This has seen 24 extra points so far here in the third set. Raglan swings and just monster ball down the line right there.
Well, that's a great swing from Will Raglan. He's been relatively quiet from the left side, but in system, when the set is in his window, Will Raglan can really attack the ball at a high point.
Yeah, you can run him so fast to the pin. He almost feels as effective in system as like a middle, the way he runs that route, if you can put him on with a quick one to the pin. But Afaji, not to be outdone, returns fire down the line himself. Float short, out of system. Raglan tries to, finds a tip over the top. That one's called down. Great question in the chat. What are the implications of a third set that's gone on this long, trying to play out of it in the fourth? I think the biggest thing right now is the team that is able to minimize their errors. And we saw, Tyrants, it's hard to remember at this point if they were making the errors or just not quite in sync during set number 1. Chicago certainly making the errors in set number 2, and now both teams duking it out to see who can make more, it feels like. So I think that the implications more than anything here is who is able to kind of right the ship going into the fourth set, because whichever team mitigates their errors, I think they're going to win set number 4. But it's definitely a great question here, as we have hit 40 points for the Texas Tyrants. Botam Liu swinging into the middle, deflection. Gabo Quinones to Jacobs, and there it is. Daniel Jacobs gets it done at 41-39. Matt, the match was determined to go as long as possible, but we have come to a conclusion on the back of Daniel Jacobs.
41-39, set number 3 in favor of the Tyrants. That's a big win for them, and I expect them to carry that over into set number 4, and I think this could very well be a quick wrap-up to this match.
All right, we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere for set number 4. All right, Matt.
Yes,
set
Nick.
number 4. New set, little woosah. We're going to get that out of our system. You know, I believe that both these teams can just not remove, but start to mitigate some of those errors, clean it up a little bit, maybe have a little team powwow. That was almost, 2 full sets they just played before they really got substantial breaks. So maybe bring it back together and a little optimism here.
Well, I appreciate your optimism for sure. Hopefully it can translate onto the court, from the broadcast booth as well. Volleyball's a difficult game, right? It's not that you can very oftenly play an errorless game,
right,
or let alone an errorless match. You can minimize your errors as much as possible. We have not seen either one of these teams minimize their errors at all, regardless of who's been on the court, coming off the bench, who's available, who's not available, right? Those are all just excuses. You have to serve the ball over the net. You have to serve the ball in the court, right? As my old coach used to say, you can land a helicopter in one side of the volleyball court. You should be able to serve the ball in there as well. Meanwhile, you have to attack, run your offense through the middle, and the pass is there, take care of the ball. And for the Untouchables, they have to win this set or their playoff chances will be completely done.
They certainly will. Well, wise words, Matt. Hopefully we can see that translate here, but a quick nod. Anthony Robinson as the middle. They said instead run him on the right side in that rotation. Open him up, put him a little bit more at home. Gets a nice cross-court kill. And Piot blocked back in. Tyrants off to a nice start for themselves here at 2-0. The same 2 points that no team for 27 points there could figure out how to open up. Just like that, scored here to start off set number 4. Ragland looks for a touch on Afaji. Can't find one. Another float serve to Callahan. Ragland's the option. And the entire team watches for an hour and a half as that ball slowly falls back to earth.
I think we all thought it was in slow motion there. That ball nearly hit the ceiling and still landed inbounds. You'd like to see someone make an effort to get over there to cover that ball.
Had enough time to go grab a little breakfast croissant. Into the middle. Mounty covers himself. Quick set. And Afaji resets. Mounty up, but Mounty nets, and that's going to be a point for Chicago. Just a little bit too tight, but I like the in-transition run to the middle. Tyrants up 4-1. Looking very awake at the moment. Ragland with some nice pace on that serve. Wow, that's the ball I've been waiting for from Mulero all day long. I feel like he's been a little uncharacteristically missed on his second ball contacts to the pin. Just delivered an easy swing for Afaji there. Great set from the libero.
Well, this is a dream start for the Tyrants here in set number 4, up 5-1, looking to close this match out in a very authoritative fashion so far.
Tries to set it there, and you know, call back here to one of the things we talked about with a great question in the chat last set. What are the implications after that? And right now it's looking like Chicago might be all but done. They are looking very deflated and down by 5 here in the 4th set. You give Tyrants room like this, and we're going to see a repeat of set number 2 real quick. Good response there from Namiotko. Lou with a nice jump serve, but a better pass by Grosso, but a shutdown block in the middle. Pazinski doesn't want any of that noise from Ryan Mounty. Serve wide from Lou. Callahan is the recipient of another serve. Nice dig by Mulero. And Grosso just throws that one down. Quick recognition of a good block from Namiotko, but the wily Grosso too much. Ragland buys some time with that, and it looks like he catches the line, not quite catching it, and that's going to be a point for the Tyrants on another hitting error, and a timeout taken by Chicago Untouchables very early on, 9-3. Well, stay tuned. We'll see if this is all she wrote for the Chicago Untouchables. We'll be right back. Back in the action here, Afaji to serve. Nice pass by Ragland. Here's an opportunity in the middle, but a nice dig from Quinones. And now Grosso showing that craft once again. Callahan not ready as the off blocker. Made the move, but Grosso just dropped that one too short.
Just too much good vision from Grosso to see the opening right there and tip it ever so gently over the block and down onto the floor.
That's one of those things he's done so well, is a little bit of an undersized outside. Obviously, he brings the heat, but he's also developed that shot part of his game, has a great bit of court vision so that he can see a lot of hitting options for himself. Callahan, good adjustment there. Swinging deep into zone 5, gets himself a nice kill. There is still time for Chicago, but if you're a fan of the Untouchables, you got to be sending positive vibes to these guys because they need all the help they can get to close up this 6-point deficit. Good serve and a good pass. Jacob swings wide, or long, sorry. Ragland makes the move just to make sure. Down now by 5. Well, no, Peter leaves that one short in the net after one good one. And Mountie goes short.
Nick, is the net height still 8 feet? We didn't change this, did we, from the last event? Sorry.
You know, I'm thinking of something witty to reply, and I just hope it's not higher than normal. But then again, they're challenging it by hitting at the bottom of the tape, so I don't think it matters. That's going to be a back row attack coming over based on where it was sent over. So that's going to be a point for Chicago. Nice little lucky break there, and they're definitely going to say thank you for the freebie. Good turn by Jacobs, keeps rotating in the air, gives himself some great bit of court, and chisels that one off the outside hand of Ragland. Ragland dug by Afaji. Out to Grosso, and he continues taking advantage of the hard angle. That's 3 points in a row in a variety of different ways. He got the tip, the roll shot, and now just hammering the ball. Angle is open, and Grosso, the business is good. 13-7. Pazinski, good pass by Grosso. A little bit of a misconnection, so that's tipped over. Callahan gives a free ball back, but Ragland turns it into a blocking move. Grosso tips again, but a good read by Ragland. And a free ball opportunity. A little bit of a slide there. Robinson trying to run a back route, swings wide. Pazinski again. High set, funneled back. Well done by Lou and Ricchetti, hanging up there because Grosso looked like he was a little bit ahead of that set. And that's going to be a timeout taken by the Tyrants. A little bit of that mojo escaping them right now. Now Untouchables down by 3. Could this be the bit of a Chicago comeback, or is Tyrants just taking a quick breather? We'll find out right after this. And we're back here courtside. Once again, I'm Nick England, joined by Matt Prosser, Noah Chass on the sideline, Ira Thor on his way right after this match. You're joining us from San Bernardino, California at the Pierce Sports Center. This is the first match of a 13-match weekend. And Matt, we always say 12, but this weekend got something a little bit special. For the first time ever in NVA, we're doing an NVA All-Star match, American Conference versus the National Conference. If you want to see those rosters, be sure to check us out on Instagram to see exactly what to expect. It's going to be a full 5-set match with all regular rules going on tomorrow, same place at 7 p.m. after 4 regular matches. Times are a little adjusted tomorrow than our standard every 3 hours. It's every 2.5 hours, so be sure to check out our schedules. Once again, coming out on social medias as well as on YouTube and NVAUSA.com to see exactly when you should be tuning in. But excited to see that match unfold.
It should be a good one.
A lot of Team Freedom, a lot of Ramblers on both those squads. Back into the action here, a roll shot over the top. That's picked up, transitioned, and beautifully put away by Ryan Mounty from the Tyrants. They are right back on top, 16-11. That timeout doing them some good. After a quick wipe down on the court, Robinson will be back to float serve. One-handed pass from Robinson, kept alive. Afaji, great set. Not really anticipated there from the Tyrants. So a free ball opportunity. An easy dig means an easy kill. Number 11, Afaji, puts it away. Votam Liu once again getting a nice kill out of the middle. Like to see him continuing to be set here. Raglan targets Afaji. Jacobs blocked back, but it goes wide. That's going to be a kill for number 16. Robinson with a perfect pass. Runs the big route and nobody home. That's going to be a timeout taken by the Chicago Untouchables. A deflating point to go down by 7 if you're a Chicago fan. We'll be right back. As we're getting back into action, Jose Malero making some pretty funny hand comments, indicating that it's time for everyone to start underhand serving so as not to give back the lead here. A well-earned 7-point lead. Tyrants have substantially cleaned up their efforts here, and it feels like they're right back on top of playing the volleyball that is much closer to what we expect from the Tyrants.
It is what we expect to see from them, but they also can see the finish line, Nick.
Set out to Afaji. The sharpest angle that leaves it a little bit, too much there. This is going to be Ron Dunn once again coming in for Votam Liu. Ron Dunn's been the best server for Chicago off the bench so far. Maybe Chris Baczynski. He's had a heck of a match serving, I would say. And Mountie is the option. Once again, though, Tyrants just too comfortable with the serves coming their way and ready to battle it out. 20-13 here, 7 points means that the Tyrants, you know, they don't want to let off the gas, but it feels like they can kind of coast through the end of this one. And that is blocked back by Grosso straight into Namiotko. And with this loss will mean the end of the Chicago Untouchables' pursuit of the postseason, as they will go to 1-8 with LA Blaze sitting currently at 3-5. They will be uncatchable, and Ryan Mountie wants to make it personal as he lets Chicago know that he is there in the middle. Pazinski dug in transition by Mulero. Afaji pokes it over. Back set and another dig. This one comes over. Quinones to the middle, but Doug blocked back. Grosso tries to step close, running away from it, leaves it short. 22-14, 8-point deficit. See if Piot is able to string a little bit together here. Nice pass by Grosso. Turns into an easy set to the man in the middle. Ryan, the moneymaker, Mountie. Glad to see that he is back and firing after a pretty scary potential ankle injury at event number 4 that he played through due to the lack of personnel. Overpass tight. Robinson jams it through Ricchetti. And 24-14. This will be match point here in set number 4. 1 point away from eliminating the first team from the postseason officially, the Chicago Untouchables. Short float. Chris Pazinski determined to get one more kill before that book closes. Callahan float, backside to Jacobs, and that's going to be a swing off the block, a net from the side of Chicago, and that is match. On an absolute barn burner, both of these teams trying to go the distance, but the Texas Tyrants ultimately reign supreme, bringing themselves to 8-1. So they've got one more match to play this weekend. And while Chicago might have one more to play, unfortunately, Matt, that means the end of their season.
Yeah, their season is finished for the Chicago Untouchables. At times showed some very inspiring volleyball, but today just didn't have it in the cards for them. Just even with the unmanned Tyrants team, they were still too much for the Untouchables to handle.
Yeah, and that's always one of those interesting things that we have with the NVA being an event-based league, you know, and that's the way for now that we're handling it. But having 5 events, it's great that coming into this event, no team was yet out of playoffs, so everyone still has a chance. Obviously, some are guaranteed, and some are much more out of the loop.
Right.
But you know, that's the first one you see unfold there as we see the man of the match interview with Noah on the sideline. Noah, take it away.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, I'm here with Daniel Jacobs. And Daniel, I mean, only a 4-set match, not 5 sets, but a 41-39. I mean, just an absolutely absurdly long third set. You had the kill to finally end it. How did that feel?
Felt good. I mean, it's tiring. Say only 4 sets, but going to 40, that's pretty much a 5-set match. So tough, but you know, we came in that 4th and said we're gonna try and play our game, keep the errors low, and I think we did that. And it was nice that the 4th set didn't go as long as the 3rd.
And you came back in that 4th set all business. How do you bounce back from such a long and tiring set like that?
I mean, just try to conserve energy. It's tiring, but I mean, we just said we can just play our volleyball, do the things that we need to do, minimize errors. We can take this game and, you know, yeah, win it.
And we're at the point of the season now where you guys are playing a bit of Grim Reaper. You just knocked a team out of playoff contention. How does that feel?
It's good. I mean, glad, we still want to keep winning going into playoffs, keep the momentum going, and, hopefully come August we'll feel good and we'll be ready to go.
How do you ride this energy and ride this wave into your next event or your next match this event?
Just keep the energy going, think about maybe a few things that we can improve on, think things we did well, and come in and do the same thing, hopefully.
Well, congrats on the win, a long one, a tiring one, but you pulled it out. Daniel Jacobs, our man of the match with the Tyrants' victory over the Chicago Untouchables. Nick, Matt?
Well, that was certainly a heck of a match number one. Definitely not as clean as we would have hoped, but quite an exciting set number 3 all the same. Got the heart racing nice and early on this Friday morning. That's going to do it, though. We got one more match right up next after this one at noon, so 1 hour from now, and that's going to be the Dallas Tornadoes and the Utah Stingers. This one's going to be an awesome little battle over on the American Conference side, so definitely a meaningful match here. As always, I'm Nick England. That's Matt Prosser, Noah Chass on the sideline. We'll be right back here. Ira Thor joining you there. We'll see you then.